Hello, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. My name is Gabby. I'm your host of Goddess Radio. This is also going on YouTube as well. So, welcome in if you're tuning in from there. If you'd like to, before I get started, if you'd like to work with me, my link for coaching is in my bio and in the show notes. There is a copy paste link for the Stand store. So, if that's something you're interested in now, or after the video, I look forward to hearing from you. If you haven't been here before, my name is Gabby. I am a former ER nurse turned coach to women to help them use pleasure to find their power and have a magnetic as fuck life. Okay. I'm going to do a little rant today because I can't fucking take it anymore. And damn. Okay. So, any feeling that we are ever seeking in something outside of us is just going to lead to more reliance on external aspects, external sources to fill an internal quote unquote issue. Okay. You think that you have to do all these things and get all of these things in order to feel a certain way. You need none of that. And it is the opposite way that you should be. It's an opposite way from what really benefits you, which is using your own energy to fulfill your own self to achieve whatever feeling it is you're missing, which is leading you to source all these different things that you feel like you don't have. That is a product of capitalism, patriarchy, and organized religion. As women, especially, men are the first victims of patriarchy, and I feel for them, but I'm not talking to them right now. I'm talking to you, woman. You were born with your roots extending out towards everybody but yourself, mainly. And that shows up in the patterns that we use today in everyday life. And what I mean by that is, it doesn't matter what fucking society you're in, what other fucking culture you're in. A woman is supposed to be married, have kids, and have a career, right? You're supposed to stay small, quiet, acceptable, palatable, tiny, always beautiful, never sweaty, never showing any fucking emotion, never appearing out of place, going with the status quo, fitting in, surviving, and making sure your life looks the way that it should be because that's what Disney movies taught us. Okay? So when you have your inherent truth within yourself and you go through these stations into life, which are not always even celebrated, right? Like you don't even know when you're transitioning it to figure out for yourself, especially if you have parents that were not taught this either. So you're existing in this propagated conditioning and programming from people who didn't even fully understand it themselves. They're just doing it because that's what they were taught, and now they have children, and now they're teaching them that. That when you're raised in that environment while also having your own inherent blueprint of what you desire, and then those things start to become dissonant because as you grow up, you start to realize this might not be for me, but you don't have the tools to understand what's happening. So that is where trauma starts to show up and cloud our fucking vision. We're trying to operate one way, we're told and probably reinforced continually that your way isn't right. So that then you start to develop other habits to keep you quote unquote in line with what you were taught. So you're born, you're given the programming and the conditioning. You start to realize maybe this isn't for me. The conditioning just reaffirmed, the programming is just dug in deeper when you try to exit out, especially if, you know, you are in survival mode or whatever you're doing in order to remain in this thing that you've been told, this identity. Now, what you're not told, instead of using all this random shit to cope with who you are and what you don't want, what you're not told is how to successfully nurture and nourish your truth, your inherent identity, what is at the core of your mission, the reason that you were born on this earth in this reality today. You are never taught to nourish your truth. You are mainly taught what is given to you about women in this society. Those are two different things. There is purpose in having women programmed to outsource every ounce of energy that they have because you are more valuable to a system, to this current system. You as a woman in this current system is more valuable as an extracted, disconnected woman than you are in her full sovereignty, fully on board with her own energy, making her own decisions, completely disconnected from societal expectations and programming and conditioning that's not yours. There is a point, there is a reason that women have been completely extracted from for millennia. There is a reason for that because we are the key holders to propagate humanity. So to control that is to control the resources of the world. It's not fucking oil, it's women and it's our bodies. We are portals to divinity. Our bodies physically are divine reception. We receive it, and you can see it evidenced by the fact that we birth babies. We receive physical DNA, and within our DNA, we don't even consciously even know specifically how our body just knows how to print humans. But we do because we're like the in between the physical and the divine because a soul propagates through our body and is birthed into the physical reality. So that inherent ability does not stop with birth. We are a receptacle for divinity energetically, spiritually. So that baby doesn't even really belong to us. It's our child, but we are its basically guide to bring it earthside. Whatever we decide to do with that child, whether it's conscious or unconscious, not everyone has a choice to give birth, etc. That's not what I'm talking about. But that baby doesn't even belong to us. It belongs to the world. And we are here as women to nourish those new souls. That is inherently like what we do, whether or not, obviously, we know that that's a conscious thing that we do, but that's our role that we naturally do, whether or not we're asked to. We naturally nourish and care. Okay. That is an expensive, quote unquote, resource to the modern world. So, of course, for them to have control over it is ideal. And for them to have such inherent control over it to where it is brainwashed within each of us the moment we're born subconsciously is like evil fucking genius. And you know what? I've known this for a while, but they brainwashed the wrong fucking one. Because I'm gonna wake up every single woman to her fucking truth, and I want every fucking woman to realize that you're being extracted from consciously. And for you to take your power back is opposite of what you've been taught, and it is to be sovereign as fuck in your own energy with your own resources. Literally decentering everybody else and centering yourself. Because if you really want to get down to the brass tacks, everything that you desire to have right now, whether it's a person, place, thing, money, You're attempting to foster an internal state of peace and freedom. But the whole joke is that you already have freedom and truth and sovereignty of your energy and peace within you right now. You already exist as that. Your journey is to change the lenses within how you look at yourself and how you operate. You need to completely if you want, if you desire a very pleasurable, juicy life experience, you need to be internally self-sourced, period. And the way that I've found to do that the best is not through external action, and it's not going to be given to you by anybody else. No one can replace your consistency with tuning into yourself. No one, like I can only suggest a pathway. No one's going to give this to you. So that's the part where people, I think, where I got fucked up in the past is like I thought that by asking everybody else their advice, I was going to find more of myself. But it wasn't until I tuned into my truth and I met my higher self in my vision. It doesn't have to be a vision though. It's an energy. It's an energy that you're tuning into. And the energy of your truth is always accessible if you're listening and you're open enough to receive it. And the idea is that if you're in survival mode and you don't feel safe being in your own fucking body, you're not going to open to these possibilities because you're so fucking in your mind. You're so freaked out. You're so overwhelmed that you're either in your mind or disassociated or numb or whatever. You're turning to substances, you're eating your feelings, you're getting fucking high all the time, you're wasted all the time, thinking that's like this lifestyle you want to live. And I get it because I've been there. I have been there. I basically was, I don't think I would say I was an addict, but I always used food to cope. Like, just because it wasn't alcohol doesn't mean it wasn't having some kind of addictive, like re addictive property on my life. Like, I was so unhealthy. I was so overweight. I was high all the time. I was using sex and travel and men and relationships and yada, yada, yada to try to get this feeling of peace. And I was in a job that drew me to it because of my patterns, which were um, hyperactivity and distraction and like chaos. So my job was hyperactivity, chaos, and distraction. And I was riding on this cycle for so long where all these external things just stopped working. Nothing worked. Nothing took me out of myself. And if I was like high, it wasn't for long and it wasn't enough. It got to the point where all of these factors that I was using to escape myself and try to achieve peace within, they stopped working. And that's when my initiation began because initially during these super traumatic times in my life, I would just run and run and run and run and run. And there is a point where running stops working and fucking collapse. Either collapse or whatever you go into, whether it's hyperdrive or hypodrive. I go into hypodrive because I'm prone to laying my fucking ass down. My friends, I notice, are hyperdrive and they never sit the fuck down because they don't know how to create space within their mind to allow them to rest. And they don't feel safe resting. Even resting may not even be restorative to you in the traditional sense. But the thing is, in order to find out what it is that you need to be able to tune in and ask your body what it needs. And in order to do that, you need to feel safe within your own body. And without that, you're just running, you're running on the hamster wheel. You're going to consistently seek things external to you to try to fill in the void of what's in within you because your mind isn't letting you tune into what's within you. And so whenever you have these aspects of spirituality that you want to get into in order to find your truth and they tell you to sit down and meditate, you're like, I don't fucking want to sit down. Like, what? Why would I do that? I can't sit down. Or like you go into meditation, you're like, no, I can't do this. And then you're so prone to these other pathways that make you feel better that you just default to them because you don't know how to stay on you don't know how to stay on the path. So if you feel like you're a spiritual person, but you're not exactly sure what you're getting out of what's happening, journey of finding your self-sovereignty within yourself doesn't have to be from you sitting still and finding the answers. Although that does help a lot of people, sometimes forcing yourself to do these things are painful. And then it causes more issues and then it just detracts from you trying again because who the fuck wants to feel that when they're just trying to feel normal? You know what I mean? Like let's normalize not re-traumatizing ourselves from a space of forcing ourselves to experience these past things that would just be brought up when your shields are completely open. Like it's in the name of nervous system regulation and whatever, but it becomes like a little bit of a commoditization whenever people don't know how to hold space and usher people through something safely. And I've been harmed so many times, and it has detracted from me following my goal because I don't want to harm people. But that's the exact reason why I'm here doing this today because the discovery of my lifetime is that you don't have to re-traumatize yourself in order to shift into a new lens of magnetism. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do any work. There's no like self-work healing journey that you don't have to do a fucking self-healing journey in order to fucking figure out who the fuck you are and where you want to go and how you want to be in life. It doesn't have to be some like ego death bullshit. It just gets so ridiculous. Like there's so much noise. There's so much fucking noise in the spiritual community that says you have to go through some ego death and it's like the hero's journey. Yes, we all have a hero's journey, but does it have to be dark and almost leading you to fucking suicide before you like achieve your nirvana? No, that's false. That's false. What it is using instead of going down to the depths of the soul and trying to dig out what is wrong with you in order to let it see light and integrate it, it has a place. With women though, we are such beautiful, delicate creatures, and a lot of us have not been exposed to our shadow side, our rage, our passion, our extreme range of emotions. Like we've been so suppressed and oppressed that introducing yourself in one fell swoop to everything that has been hiding within you is detrimental to your progress. The way to cultivate a relationship to yourself is through pleasure and joy. Pendulating, swinging, choosing something that makes you feel good versus going within to root out all the bullshit will condition you to feeling better and naturally reveal what it is that's for you in a fun, safe, open, feel good way. You do not have to root and traumatize and try and dig and start with action first, like a patriarchal spiritual community may have you think. That is not correct. Finding sovereignty within yourself comes from tuning into what your soul wants and doing more of that. The shit that needs to be integrated will come up naturally. And by that time, you'll be ready to confront it. And you'll know you'll have the practices in order to tune back into and create a wider base of capacity for the wave of emotion to hit you versus stabbing your old self and watching it bleed out. And then now you're like baby fucking deer energy trying to figure out who you are in this new identity. That is so fucked up. It's so backwards. And the whole thing doesn't have to be this soft love and light bullshit. You can be a gothic fucking queen going on her spiritual journey that has nothing to do with, you could be a fucking atheist. You could worship the goddamn devil. Any aspect of your spirituality that aesthetically please you, do it. It doesn't have to look a certain fucking way. It's literally you, your energy, and you learning how to access it more consistently. And then as you build that muscle, you become more sovereign in your own fucking decisions, in your own energy, and then shit starts to magnetize to you because you're certain of who you are and you're not leaking all your fucking energy to everyone else and their fucking problems. Their problems will exist with the fuck out you, without you. I'm so tired of my fucking friends coming to me and being like, well, this is happening and it doesn't have anything to fucking do with them, but yet they're spiraling over it. Stop. What is that doing? You're just taught that you're not worth your own energy from a child and you're repeating these patterns within these friendships and you're attracting people that have those same fucking wounds. So you guys are just in a fucking echo chamber about problems that you don't even need to be fucking focusing on because you are your own power and you are your own source. Ah, goddamn, dude. Stop. It's so annoying. Like I'm ranting because I have no one to talk with us about. And I just had a situation where I wasn't, you know what? And I learned a lesson here too. Not to fucking tell people my shit who aren't on my same fucking thought level because they're fucking sending me worry. Stop. Stop. I am in my own journey discovering and using my reality to my benefit. And I'm fully seated in the sovereignty of my own power. I am completely central to myself, and it is the most freeing and peaceful state I have ever fucking been in. Having said that, the key to your power belongs in your hand, not spilling out into other people's processes and other people's energy. Those people have their own journey and have their own shit to figure out. You are your own priority. And the less you feel weird about fucking saying that out loud, the more your energy is only yours. The less you feel confident saying, I am the center of my universe, the more you're leaky. Because if you have trouble saying, I'm the priority, I'm the fucking queen, I'm the prize, I'm not even talking about romantic relationships, like as a mother, as a sister, as an employee, as a business owner, as a fucking whatever the fuck it is that you want to be in your life, you will benefit highly from gaining self-worth, putting your lens on, looking at yourself as a magnetic, sovereign ass, strong woman who owns her fucking power. And then when you put that lens on, the dissonance that you feel is just your old fucking self leaving your body. But the way to get through that, the way to buckle down while the shit waves over you, the shit crashes over you like a wave, is to regulate yourself using pleasure. That's it. It sounds complex, but it's super simple. Make a decision. I am my priority. This other dust is going to flare up. And then you regulate through the dust flaring up and you stay certain in yourself. I am the queen. I am the goddess of my reality. And then everything else that leaves in the midst of that, in that decision, wasn't your truth to begin with because your truth is being a goddess of your reality. Your truth is being a sovereign magnetic woman. Your truth is being a fucking badass. And anything that leaves or wants to flare up when you declare that was not yours to begin with. And the trick is between where you're at now and shifting into true magnetism, that quote unquote gap, it's not a gap, it's just gonna feel like a gap. That gap can be managed by increasing your capacity to deal with bullshit. And the way to increase your capacity to deal with bullshit is to flood yourself, flood your life with feminine energy and pleasure. That your body is open to experiencing pleasure, the more you can experience life, the swings of life. Because if you can feel pleasure, that means your body is safe. And if you can consistently feel pleasure, that means your body consistently feels safe. And if you can consistently feel pleasure and safety, that means your channel can clear and you can sit in the seat of your goddessdom and receive whatever fucking intuitive nudge it is that's aligned with you and your goals and your journey, and you can act on that from there. That's it. That's the fucking story. That's the whole fucking key to how you can get to where you want to be from where you are now. That's it. And there's a billion ways, what do you call? There's a million ways to slice the, you know what I'm trying to say. There's there's a million streams that go the same river, I guess you could say. Like it's all the same. You can beat yourself up into submission and clear your channel the rough way, the masculine way, and root through it and force it out and all that shit. But that hurts. That sucks. That puts you back because you can't be consistent because it hurts. Who the fuck wants to do that constantly and deal with that constantly while they're trying to shift out of working a fucking 9 to 5, whatever you're goddamn doing? I was a fucking ER nurse and I was rooting up my fucking past. No wonder. I was rooting up my fucking past and I was going through these initiations in order to get to where I'm at today. I call them initiations because I don't know what else the fuck they're called. I don't know who else goes through all that shit consistently in like in a decade. You know what I'm saying? Damn. But I also think that I'm here to guide women into the back to themselves. So maybe it's a little priestess energy of some sort. My point is, guys, you or ladies, I should say, you are not here to serve someone else. You are here to stand in your truth, follow your soul's full fucking blueprint, and lead that life. And the way that you do it is to condition your body to consistently be able to handle it because you are having a human experience. You are a soul, you are a goddess of your reality. You are source shining outward. Like everybody is that. That's what God is. You are source, but you inhabit source in this reality in a human body. So why not find alignment with your human body, your source, in your mind? Body, mind, and soul alignment. That is magnetism. For women, it comes differently because we have a female nervous system and our body works differently. And that's amazing. To be honest with you, like it felt more resonant with me to know that than it was to like, oh yeah, just wake up at 5 a.m. and take a cold shower. Fuck out of here with that bullshit. We respond to heat, bitch, not no fucking cold water. And I know it builds resiliency, but whose body did they test that on? A man's or a woman's? I wonder. I do wonder. I do fucking wonder. It's the rise of the divine femininity. We are in the midst of that, whether or not you like to admit that shit or not. This is the rise of the divine feminine. In order to fully inhabit that new paradigm, you need to be getting on board with your energy as the center of the universe. Period. And if that's something that you're interested in, I coach women through this because I went through this myself. I found the long way and I cut it down into a short way. It doesn't have to be hard, going to therapy. That doesn't even like you don't need any of that. I'm not a medical I'm a medical professional, but I'm not giving you registered nurse advice. I'm giving you advice from spiritual Gabby who knows exactly what the fuck you're going through and it's really just a shift in perception and then dealing with everything else that has to die in response to that. And the way you do that is through pleasure. conditioning your body to feel pleasure and joy rather than stress and fatigue and anxiety or depression. It's just, we're living the wrong path and like we need to wake up. Okay, so that's my rant for today. My link will be in the bio to work with me. You can find me on TikTok, on YouTube, and Spotify. So thanks for listening today, and I hope to see you soon. Love you.